I knew that if I ever wanted to stop working, if I ever wanted to be in a space where at some point my money just works for me, then the very first thing I'm always going to do, hands down, would be to pay myself first. And what does that mean? That simply means paying my future self first. Because if you know that at some point within your lifetime, I'm going to assume a lot of women who are following me are in their 40s, 50s, that you're not going to want to work forever. Yeah. So if you don't want to work forever, yes, like people talk about passive income. At the end of the day, real passive incomes comes from your money making you money and your money making you money while you're sleeping. And that can't happen if when you get paid, the first thing you're doing is just paying your expenses. There's no conscious circulation happening. So you're not really sure where your money is going. And so then what happens is we have a lot of leaks because there's no conscious circulation going. And all that does is just helps us to realize that when money comes in, who's the first person I'm going to pay? And for me, it just really just comes down to the very first person I'm going to pay when money comes in is going to be my future self, because my future self does not want to work forever. My future self wants to be at a beach somewhere relaxing, hanging out with my kids, whatever that is for me, like 10, 15, 20 years from now. And I think we get into this space where we, use even for like things like when we think about extra money, right? Like we think about self-care. Oftentimes people are like, "Oh, I'm going to get my hair done. I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to do this." If we treat our future self that way, imagine how much more richer you'll be 10, 15 years from now if you're thinking about your future self. I want my future self to be able to get her manicure, pedicure. I want my future self to be able to have that spa treatment. I want my future self to like hang out, have massages. And that doesn't mean I deprive myself. It's not from this place of depriving myself. But I think what happens oftentimes is we're thinking so much of our current need right now that we can't see past that to think, what is it that I actually want for myself in the future? Because if you're not planning for your future right now, I want you to really like leaning close here. If you're not planning for your future right now, what's going to happen? Your life is just going to be a repeat of where it is now. And if you're happy with where you are financially, amazing. Praise Jesus. I'm so happy for you. You've hit financial freedom. That's amazing. You're not stressed about where money's coming from because you have it. You already have your finances in order. But if you're like the majority of people, majority of women that I see, you're struggling. Either you're living paycheck to paycheck, which if you're living paycheck to paycheck, first, my heart goes out to you. Second piece is we create our own economy. I'm such a believer that we are on our own economy. And part of that is you're going to use the skills, the talents, all the gifts that God has given you, and you're going to create massive value in the world through your products, your services, whatever your offering is, because we got to get that up. Okay. You have to. When you're in your 40s and 50s, there's no playtime. Playtime is over. Playtime is over because you're getting so much closer to retirement. And if you don't have a 401k at minimum, and you're not on track at minimum to at least be 1.5 million minimum, okay? Because when you retire, I want you to really think about it. If you are struggling right now and you don't have an investment portfolio, what do you think is going to happen when you retire? Okay? It breaks my heart. It hurts me so deeply to say this, but when you retire and if you're only relying on Social Security, you're not going to make it. You just can't. Like, it is impossible for you to have no financial security and make it at 67, I believe, is now the age. I'm going to check the SSA.gov website after this. I'm pretty sure, I think now it's like 67, 70 is then when you qualify for full Social Security benefits. I don't know about you, but I don't want to work till I'm 70. Amen. Like, we're not wanting to work until we're 70. And so it's recognizing that the financial decisions I'm making right now is going to impact my future self. If you want to retire early, for those of you who already have your 401k set up, you've been investing into your HSA, your Roth IRA, you're maxing that all out. You're taking a look and you're like, oh, I actually am doing pretty well. I could retire early if I choose to. My recommendation for you is do retire early or be at least semi-retired where you might like take on some clients or some projects simply so you can at least pay for insurance, but everything else is already covered for. Like, I'm so happy for you. That's incredible. But for majority of people, they're not on track. They're not on track for retirement. They're not on track to live comfortably in retirement. And I don't want you stressed out. I don't want you door dashing or like Ubering people when you're like almost 70 years old because that's not fun. That's not going to be fun for you to have to pick up like a side gig when you're like 70 and there's just so much stress in your body and it breaks my heart when I see people who are of that age and they're delivering food to my house or they're struggling to bring up groceries because I did like a DoorDash order and that breaks my heart. I don't want that for you. And so for me is take care of your future self. That honestly is the only edge I probably had when it came to fire, like being introduced to the fire movement early on, and then realizing that, hey, if I don't take care of my future self now, future me is not going to be really happy. Future me is going to look back at past me and go, what were we doing? What were we thinking? Yeah. So, and we already have those moments. So, my invitation to you is if this video reached you, spoke to you in some way, let's start helping you to map out what that looks like. Let's start helping you to actually start investing. That's it. Like, I would love to invite you to join our collective where we're going to be building wealth with a regulated nervous system. But if you're not feeling led and you're like, that's not what I feel my next step is, your next step is simple. Start investing. Okay. I don't want you to create overwhelm because that's what we're doing when we are procrastinating and we're not going on Swap, we're not going on Fidelity, or we're not going in Vanguard when we know that's all we really have to do to open up a Roth IRA. You don't already have one. We're creating the illusion of confusion within ourselves because our nervous system isn't regulated. It does not feel safe. There's too many ups and downs. There's so many risks. A lot of it is our mind drama, and then our nervous system gets activated. And so that's part of the reason why I want you in this collective is so that way we can do that work together and we can build real wealth together with a regulated nervous system. Otherwise, you're just going to keep questioning yourself. You're going to keep going down that rabbit hole of YouTube. You're going to keep creating confusion for yourself. You're going to go, I don't know how to invest. I don't know how much to invest in. I don't know where to start. And I'm going to say this in like the most loving way possible, which is that you are creating resistance for yourself. And it's disguised as confusion when all that is that your nervous system isn't regulated enough to feel safe investing. That's all it is. It's your nervous system does not feel safe enough to start investing. And so you create so many layers of confusion. I don't know what to invest in. I don't know where to invest. I don't know where to begin. When if we just look at the logical side of it, it's as simple as going on YouTube, how to start investing, how to open up my Roth IRA account. All that can be found on Google, but what we're doing, the work that we do is help you to regulate your nervous system because you already know that. Your mind already knows that. It already knows what to do. That's the strategic side. Yeah. But it's that the nervous system side that doesn't feel safe. Doesn't feel safe. Investing feels risky. And so that's the work that we're going to be doing together.